Hello everybody, the Wrestling Hangout here with another episode. Today I'll be talking about Miro signing with AEW and how AEW could use them. So as you know, Miro, formerly known as Rusev, sorry if I butchered the name, I think it's Miro, signed with All Elite Wrestling Wednesday, actually like right after his debut. Kip Sabian and Penelope Ford are setting up some wedding angle, like some wedding. And he said his best man, he was going to say, my best man, or whatever, announcing his best man, and Brian Pillman Jr. came out. And then Kip Sabian said, it's not you, and then he bantered Brian Pillman Jr., and then Brian Pillman Jr. went to the back, and then Miro came out. And I guess his nickname now is Miro the Best Man, because that's what AEW's been calling him. And I don't know how they're going to use him. I don't know why he's always involved in like a wedding angle. But somehow Rusev always carries his angles, and he can make angles work. Even in that Bobby Lashley Rusev storyline, which was terrible, but Rusev somehow carried that. So the way they could use them, so Kip Sabian and Miro start teaming up. Miro's like the best man, like Kip Sabian's best friend, whatever. Miro and Kip Sabian start teaming up, having some tag matches, and then after around the wedding, or maybe at the wedding, Miro turns on Kip Sabian, basically making Miro a face and Kip Sabian a heel, obviously, because Kip Sabian's that cocky heel. And this sets up a match between both of them, which Miro wins the rivalry and, has some build-up, and then that's his first major rivalry in the company, and it can make that, and that's how that storyline will click, that's how that storyline can work, if Miro ends up teaming with Kip Sabian in the beginning and then betraying him at the wedding. I think that'll work. I think Miro's first match is going to be against Brian Pillman Jr. because, Brian Pillman Jr. is like the only other one involved in this angle. After he's probably going to have some problem with Kip Sabian for what Kip Sabian said or whatever. So I think Miro will have a match with Brian Pillman Jr. People would think he's a heel against Kip, and he's friends with Kip Sabian, but then he'll turn on Kip Sabian at the wedding, solidifying him as a face, giving him a major rivalry with Kip Sabian. And Miro, that boosts him up after that rivalry. He starts winning more and more matches, and eventually, down the line, could challenge for the AEW TNT or World Championship. With this storyline, with this angle, this is the only reasonable way they could use him. Only reasonable way. That if he turns on him, turns face, and has a rivalry, Kip Sabian. That's the only way I could see the storyline clicking. That's it for this episode, everyone, and we'll see you guys later.